My name is Susan Sunde. I've worked with IRCC for about 12 years. I'm an outreach officer and I represent Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and Nunavut. And I'm basically a touch point for stakeholders, employers, etc., to provide support in their quest for hiring foreign talent. So to get started then, this presentation is going to answer the following questions. I'm facing skills shortages in Canada. How can I find global talent? I found a candidate abroad. How can I bring them to Canada? And then I want to retain my candidate. How can I support them for permanent residence? So first of all, how to find global talent. I find in speaking with a lot of employers and organizations that they aren't aware of many of the talent that we already have in Canada. So international students, most of them qualify for work permit. Well, they actually don't need the actual permit. It goes along with their study permit. But these students are allowed to work 20 hours a week during their studies and then full-time during regularly scheduled breaks. We also have open work permit holders. So those are people who are in Canada who have work permits that allow them to work for any employer anywhere in Canada. One of the categories is post-secondary graduates. So those international students who graduate, they're eligible, they can apply for a post-grad work permit. And this allows them to work anywhere in Canada for any employer. So those are a good talent pool to tap into as well. And also this allows them to get the experience that they need in order to apply for permanent residence. We also have working holiday visa holders. So those would be kind of like the backpackers that come over and are traveling Canada, but they also are authorized to work. So many of them are coming through what is called the International Experience Canada program. There's 3 different categories, but one category of them do have open work permits. Spouses and partners of students and high-skilled foreign workers also are eligible to apply for open work permits. And then refugee claimants. Once they've made their claim, they're also eligible to apply for an open work permit. So that's also another group that you can tap into. Of course, newcomers in Canada are permanent residents of Canada and can work anywhere for anyone. So those are the talent pools within Canada. Abroad, we work really closely with our international network. They do mobility fairs, and one of the major ones that occurs yearly is called Destination Canada. There's no fee to join that fair. You also don't need to go in person. You know, if resources don't allow or whatever, you can still post your job postings and can be matched up with possible talent there. The Paris mission leads that and can actually work very closely with you to give you the information and give you all the support you need to take advantage of that mobility fair. We also work with them in terms of finding potential talent pools. So we do have some reports on specific talent pools. So advanced manufacturing, for example, we could ask the international network to hold basically our missions overseas and find information on possible talent pools. The second option abroad is to use the public employment and recruitment services that other countries provide. They provide support and advice during your recruitment process, and you can post positions on their job boards and they can help you match candidates that meet your needs. So I did talk a little bit about Destination Canada. I wanted to we have the slide in here so that you do have the email address that you can connect with the Paris mission directly and to get more detailed information on there. Okay, so to talk a bit about our temporary work programs, first of all, talk about the Temporary Foreign Worker Program, which we call the TFWP, the International Mobility Program, and the Global Skills Strategy. Temporary Foreign Worker Program is a program that's led by ESDC, and it means that the employer needs to get a labor market impact assessment. All of that first step goes through ESDC. They're the ones who take the applications for the LMIA and assess them and issue them. So once that is all finished and the employer receives the LMIA, they get a number and they provide that number to their candidate, and then their candidate then applies to IRCC for their work permit. So I just want to note that a visa or an ETA, which is an electronic travel authorization, will be issued automatically with that work permit process. The candidate doesn't need to apply separately. Okay, the second program is the International Mobility Program, strictly by IRCC, and this program does not require a labor market impact assessment. In this case, the employer has to submit an offer of employment to IRCC through our employer portal. They create the offer of employment in the portal and pay the employer compliance fee of $230 online. Once that's all done, the system automatically generates what is called an A number, and the employer provides that A number to the candidate, who then will apply for a work permit through our department. Again, visa or ETA would be issued automatically. An LMIA exemption I want to point out specifically, which is called the Mobilité Francophone LMIA exemption, so Francophone mobility. To use this exemption, you have to have a position in a managerial, professional, or technical skilled trades occupation. So those in the NOC codes are like the National Occupation Classification codes are NOC 0A or B. What's important to note with this is that the employer in Canada does not need to offer a French-speaking environment. It can be completely in English. The employee just can be able to speak French outside of work. How to find out if you need an LMIA. We have a link specifically called Find Out If You Need an LMIA on our website. If you can't find the information you're looking for, or maybe it's not clear, we do have what's called the International Mobility Worker Unit. So that's a team in my division that you can email directly, and it helps employers determine if the worker they want to hire would be exempt from the LMIA. To use this, the temporary worker must be from a visa-exempt country and currently outside Canada. And that's because this worker will come to the border with the opinion from our International Mobility Worker Unit and provide it to the Border Service Officer. The opinions are issued within 2 weeks. Okay, then I want to talk about the global skills strategy. There's 4 pillars. First pillar is a 2-week service standard to process work permits. There's a second pillar, which is the work permit exemptions. Third pillar is dedicated service channel. And then the fourth pillar is managed directly through ESDC, and it's called the Global Talent Stream. So they will process LMIAs in 10 business days for companies that qualify to use the Global Talent Stream. Companies need to be referred by a referral partner, one of which is Tech Manitoba, actually. They need to be referred to the Global Talent Stream to use that. Now, I'm just going to go in the next few slides to describe the first 3 pillars because those are IRCC managed. So the first pillar is the 2-week service standard. So that's to process work permits for high-skilled workers under the International Mobility Program. So that's the one that's the LMIA exempt, as well as their spouses and family members, so that's key, as well as those under the Global Talent Stream, which is that pillar managed by the ESDC. We submit an e-application outside of Canada. The foreign national has an employer-specific job offer in a managerial professional position, so that's NOC 0 or A professions, and the foreign national has obtained a labor market impact assessment through ESDC's Global Talent Stream. The expected outcomes, you get improved speed and responsiveness. Obviously, we're processing all of these things faster. You get greater predictability for both the employer and the employee. You as an employer in Canada gain an edge in recruitment, and the Canadian workers benefit from the knowledge transfer and new economic opportunities. So pillar 2 is the short-term work permit exemptions. So this allows high-skilled workers or researchers to enter Canada without a work permit, up to 30 days in some cases and up to 120 days in others. For high-skilled workers, so those in the NOC 0 or A, if they're coming to Canada to perform work for up to 15 or 30 consecutive calendar days, and they haven't used this exemption already, then they don't need a work permit to come in. So that's to say they can only take advantage of this work permit exemption once every 6 or 12 months. So 15 days and the 30 days only once a year. For researchers that are coming to perform research at a Canadian publicly funded degree granting institution or affiliated research institution, they can come for up to 120 days. And again, they can only use it once every year. So this reduces the administrative burden on employers and research institutions that need these people here quickly on a short time basis. So pillar number 3 is the dedicated service channel. So that is a team in my branch that selects employers that are making work with employers with significant investment in Canada or the top academics. We provide them with personalized client service. So it's an account manager is matched with an employer and provides them support on our processes, can provide updates, can help them navigate the system, answer questions one-on-one, a lot of back and forth with that. Only companies, researchers that are referred by designated referral partners have access to the dedicated service channel. So like I said, Tech Manitoba, for example, is a referral partner. They would refer you to IRCC. You would be matched with the account manager and have that one-on-one relationship. Okay, permanent immigration now. I'll talk a little bit about our economic immigration programs as well as our express entry system. So at a glance, these are our economic immigration programs. I won't go into detail about all of them here, but this is a good slide that shows all of them and how they fit. What I'm going to focus on mostly are the federal high skilled, so the left-hand column there, because those are the ones that employees can apply for through our express entry system. So our express entry system is an online system. Applicants set up a profile on that system. And what they do is answer a bunch of questions on their education, their work experience, age, family composition, etc. And according to their answers, they're given points. So the maximum amount of points they can get is 1,200. So they try to get as many points as they can. The system will automatically select them if they qualify and throw them into a pool. Candidates hang out in this pool until they receive an invitation from IRCC to apply for permanent residence. We send out invitations every 2 or 3 weeks. The points vary every time. So for example, if we did an invitation and the point cutoff was 500, for example, and someone only had 450, that's okay. They still hang out in the pool and they wait for the next invitation, which might have a cutoff point of say 445. Then they would receive an invitation. So that's how the basic premise of that. And these are the 3 categories through which you can apply. So the Federal Skilled Worker Program, Canadian Experience Class, and the Federal Skilled Trades Program. The Provincial Nominee Program, a portion of this also can come through the express entry system, but that the first part is managed by the province, of course, and they have separate criteria. So for us, these categories lay out all the different criteria. There's differences in the type of work experience you need, the language benchmark, and the education. So I'll leave that as a reference slide. I won't just read it all for you. Okay, so supporting an employee's application for permanent residence, what I want to note here is that it really is just a support. You may have candidates coming to you saying that they want you to sponsor them for permanent residence. Sponsor is not the right word here. You are not responsible for them. You aren't committing to paying for things other than their wage, basically. All you're doing as an employer is providing them a job offer. Candidates with a valid job offer get an additional 50 to 200 points. So the comprehensive ranking system points in express entry is what I was talking about when I was saying the candidates answer questions and they get points. So if they have a valid job offer, it gives them a lot more points. So that's what they're looking for when they're saying, can you sponsor me? They're looking for you to provide a job offer for them so they can get these points. So the job offer needs to be supported by a labor market impact assessment unless the employee has been working for you on an LMIA exempt work permit for 1 year. To be valid, the job offer has to be full-time, non-seasonal, and for a minimum of 1 year once the applicant receives their permanent residence. The job has to be in a NOC 0, A, or B. And just so you know, LMIAs for permanent residents only, because of course you can get them for temporary workers. So the ones for permanent residents only are processed free by Service Canada on an expedited basis. Otherwise, the processing fee is $1,000. I want to point out also that applications that are processed through express entry, 80% of them are processed within 6 months. This is very fast. It's really good for candidates who can use the express entry to get permanent residence. So IRCC resources for employers. These are just a couple of links for your reference. Even Google Employers Roadmap IRCC, it'll come up and it has tons of information, really great information So in a nutshell, I explained the talent pools that you can use in Canada without having to go outside Canada. Then I explained the temporary foreign worker program and the international mobility program and the global skills strategies, how you can hire foreign talent from overseas temporarily. And then I explained briefly the economic programs that applicants can use to immigrate permanently to Canada and how you as an employer can provide support for them.